Hello, hello, this is Rosa, RCG Creations. How's it going? Today we're making hot cocoa, but I'm doing a big batch, as you can see this big old container here, because I'm giving some to the daughter and the grandkids who live in Ohio. But I'm going to make it a big batch, that way I can put it in little vacuum seal bags, and then I'm going to put some in baggies, because to keep costs down for myself, it's going to be cheaper for me just to do it in bags versus doing it in jars. And of course I'm going to save some of those, at least one jar for us, so we can have some during winter. Okay, this, I did a bunch of recipes. I've sampled some, and some I didn't care for, some I do. This is one I've never tried before, but we're going to try it, and I'm going to see what happens. Okay, now it's asking for 1 cup of unsweetened cocoa. Get my measuring cup here. I'm also going to need a 1/2 cup. Okay. Oh, let me get my little leveler. So the first thing it says is do unsweetened cocoa. And here is my cocoa. This is called Baker's Cocoa, 100% cocoa. I vacuum packed this May 2020. I may have pressure can vacuum packed it, I may not. I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, yes I did. Excuse me, let me get my, let me move my camera. I don't want to go in front of the lens. Let me get my bottle opener, jar opener. Let me bring this back. I don't want to get too close so you can see everything. And I'm trying out my new camera. I think I'm getting down how to focus, and so it's not so bright. And one of these prior lids, what you want to do is you want to find the little lip where it gives you more depth, because there's a little ring right here. It goes all the way around so you can twist your top on it. And it pops right. Okay, and I did put it in a little bag for the simple fact is I wasn't too sure if we're going to be packing this, moving it somewhere, or sending it to somebody. Because these are great to do it this way, and you can vacuum pack it, especially if you're going to be doing some camping, okay, or doing a road trip. That way it stays nice and sealed, and it lasts a lot longer than just regularly keeping it in a regular jar. So we're going to need 1 cup of this. Let me just get my little scooper. I don't want to go get another spoon. I'm being a little lazy, but I can do that. I think this is going to take pretty much this whole. I should have measured if this is 1 whole cup, but I think it is 1 whole cup. Pretty darn close. If it's not, yep, I think it is going to be 1 whole cup. So this little snack bag equals 1 whole cup. And if I like this recipe, this is the one that I'm going to use from now on to always keep on hand and make some every year until they come up with something different. But I like my cocoa, hot chocolate, however you want to call it. Yep, that was 1 whole cup. So I'm just going to make it easy on myself. I'm going to put the excess in here. And then that'll go in the garbage. And to make it easy so there's no caking, it's recommended you put it through a sieve, and tap it so it makes it nice and fluffy. So it's a good mix so you don't have any clumps. And this is the way you want it. It's recommended. Almost everyone that I saw that had a lot of reviews on it and a lot of likes and a lot of comments. Each one of those people put it through a sieve. There's a few that didn't have a whole lot of that, but they didn't do it through a sieve. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. And since I'm not a baker, I'm just going with what the majority recommended. Okay. So you can tap it, shake it, and as you see, as it gets harder, some of the clumps may be a little bit harder. A little dried up, just get the back of your spoon, and that puts it through the sieve, through the little hose of your sieve. This is called a sieve, S-I-E-V-E. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Okay, there we go. And look how nice fine powder that is. And that's exactly what you want when you're doing a mix like this. Okay, I'm going to put this down here, put this over there. Okay, so the next ingredient is 2½ cups of powdered sugar. Okay, where's the powdered sugar? I'm going to use one that's already kind of opened. But instead of powdered sugar, I'm going to use coconut sugar. So you can use any kind of sweetener of your choice. You can even use low-cal sweetener, like the stevia and stuff like that. And I knew that was vacuum packed because I like to pack that for long-term storage. Okay, so now this is, make sure, always make sure that you get the right brand. Yeah, this is coconut sugar. And see how it's brown? That's just the way it came. I don't know anything about it. This was actually a gift for me. So, oh, it's already hard. Okay, I guess because it's sugar it gets hard. I don't know. I guess it's another reason why they want you to put it through a sieve. Because it says you can use any sweetener of your choice. It smells, it kind of reminds me of coffee a little bit. It's got a nice flavor. Let me taste it. It's not as sweet as sugar, and I'll do some more research on it. A friend of mine gave me, she was cleaning out her pantry, and all the kids were gone. She's been empty nester for years. She gave me 6 of these jars already vacuum packed. And I go, you know, it's a good time. I've had it for about a year, so it's about time that I try it out. Plus, I'm also in that pantry challenge for January and February. So I want to use as much as what I have in the pantry. And cause that's one thing is when you're storing stuff for pantry, the thing is you want to use it. Unless you buy something that's already made, like, and if you buy it in the number 10 cans, and there's all kind of companies out there like Thrive. There's a whole bunch of companies out there that sell the number 10 cans of product. And I have a whole bunch of those, like I've got powdered sugar, I've got powdered shortening, I've got powdered butter, I've got a powdered margarine, dry beans, potato, refried bean flakes. Let's see what else. There's all kinds of stuff that I have. And those, I've already got them all dated. And that's what I'm going to use for my long-term storage. So, but they last anywhere from 15 to 30 years, depending on what's recommended and how you store them. If you store them in a cool, dark place, they last the entire lifetime, which is about 30 years. But that's going to be my emergency stash. Oh, and they have, I have some dehydrated beef, dehydrated chicken, some little bite-sized pieces, cubes. And I have some bacon. And there's all kinds of meats, dairy, fruits, strawberries, bananas. But check out, do some research on your own and check out some of those sites if you want to start doing long-term storage. But the thing is, buy the product. Buy 1, 2 cans. Try it and try the ingredient. Use recipes that include that. And most of those products like Thrive and I'm trying to think of the other one. There's 3 or 4 other ones. I've got 3 different kinds. And they each have a website using the actual product and recipes. So that way you could actually make a meal or put away like a meal in a jar using that product, which is going to benefit you in the long run because you're actually using what you have and you also know if you like it or not. Because we did the, let's see, what's it called? Okay, so that I'm going to take a little bit of that because you see how that spilt over? So I'm going to take about enough that I overfilled. So that should be good. and try it, because just because a lot of people buy it doesn't mean you may not like it. It was diced ham, and I liked it. I didn't mind it. Hubby didn't care for it at all. He did not like it at all. So we won't be buying that again. Now I probably will buy it again because I enjoyed it, and you know, if it's in a drier situation, like in between paydays, got laid off, you're sick, can't go to the store, you know, anything, life happens to everybody. It's nice to have that already in your pantry, and you don't have to worry about it going spoiled. Like if the power goes out, there goes your fridge, there goes your freezer. So you don't want to freeze everything. It's good to have some stuff in your kitchen fridge, some stuff in, oops, sorry, that's my alarm, and some stuff in your freezer, your extra freezer, and then stuff in your emergency preparedness for long-term storage. Now this is not, because this is powdered, it's not really going through the sieve very well, but I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Okay, so that took care of that. Definitely want to put my lid on there so I know what that is. Oh, look, I have some right here already opened. I should have used this one, but I'll just put that one and that one. That way I just have one jar. In my pantry, and I can wash that jar. Okay, next I asked for 1 cup of creamer. And this is something that we've never done before, but apparently there's a lot of sites doing this. So I just went ahead and bought, we're not coffee drinkers, so this is Coffee Mate. I also like the little jar. That little jar is going to be good for storing something else after this container is empty. Okay, let's open that up. Throw that away. So it's asking for, oh, you know what? That asked for 2 cups of sugar. So that was 1 cup. So I do need, let's go back before I go further. That was 1 cup. Let's get, that was a little snug. If you can, always try to remember, don't ever use metal inside your jars, especially if you're going to vacuum. Excuse me, if you're going to pressure can or water bath can, because the metal can compromise and cause little nicks, which could compromise your jars when it goes into the processing, either water bath or pressure canning. Okay, so that's almost 1 cup. And here's going to be, let me get myself some room here, because I've never done this. I got to follow my recipe. Okay. And it's going to ask for 2.5 cups of whatever sweetener, so 2.5 cups. I should have, sorry about that, I should have checked this before I got on camera, but you know what? This is part of life. That's the way it happens. Okay. So that's 2 cups. Now let me get my 1/2 cup. Where'd my other 1/2 cup go? There we go. I think I've learned how to edit. If I have, I'll fast forward this part where I'm just doing the same thing, so you don't have to listen to the whole, watch the whole thing. But I'm doing it and I'm taping it because if I did it right, because I've been learning how to fast forward, trim, and delete when you're editing. All this editing stuff, computer stuff, is all totally new to me. I have no idea, but now that I got myself a channel and it's starting to grow, I need to get better at learning how to do things to make it more fun and make it more interesting. Okay, I think that's going to be close enough. I don't think this is going to be as sweet as regular store-bought chocolate. And that's close enough to me. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put it to the sieve. I dumped that in there and I shouldn't have. But I think I'll go ahead and dump it again. Yeah, see, there's a clump. Make sure you start with clean hands, clean utensils. Yeah, see, I can see the clumps, but they're breaking up. I guess because it's still something. I never would have thought coconut sugar would. It does say coconut sugar. You see that? It says coconut sugar. I never would have thought it'd be dark like this. Because coconut's white. Oh yeah, you could definitely see that cocoa. See that cocoa, how butter extra fine that is? Now I got all dirty, but oh well. Okay, so let's close this one up. That's 2.5 cups. Now we need 1 cup of the creamer. So let me get my 1 cup of cream. I don't think I have to put that to the sieve because I can already tell it's extremely very fine powder. So I think we're going to be good just through there, but I'm still, because that's what the recipe says, I'm going to, especially when you're first time using a recipe, you always want to follow it to the T and then tweak it once you've done something with it, or unless you're pretty comfortable, tweak it once you know. But since I've never done this, and like I said, I'm not a baker, see, that's close enough to 1 cup, but I'm still going to put it to the sieve, just to be on the safe side. And see how baby fine it is? Just goes right through. Except the little granules, which for some reason those are not baby fine. Why, I don't know. But I can just use my fingers and I'm running it right through and it goes right through. Okay, so that takes care of that one. Close this back up. Okay, come on. Move that out of the way. Okay, so that is 1 cup of creamer, any flavor, 5 cups of powdered dry milk. Okay, where's my dry milk? Powdered milk. Here I got powdered sugar, so if you wanted to use powdered sugar instead of coconut sugar, because I'm going to do 1 batch with coconut sugar, and then I'm going to do another batch with powdered sugar. We're going to do a just test on both of those. Okay. That's my cocoa, powdered sugar, here we go, powdered milk. Oh, that's powdered milk too. Let me see, that one has a date on it, so that's older. Let's use that one. I always like to use my older, yeah, this one was, I vacuum packed this back in May of 2020. And I vacuum packed this one in July. But this was not vacuum packed. So let's use that one up. That one I know was vacuum packed because it said so on there. It's got a V that tells me that's been vacuum packed. Okay, powdered dry milk. So we need 5 of these cups. Okay, so we're just going to pour. I'm not going to, whoops. I guess not. I guess I got it kind of hard. And powdered milk does do that with time. Let me just get my little, because this has been in here since 2020, so this is 22, so over 1.5 years, almost going on 2 years now. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop, and I'm going to go ahead and get my 4 cups. I'll bring you back, because you don't need to sit here and watch me soften this the milk to release it. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. And what I ended up doing, because I had to break up that clumped up dry milk mixture. It took me quite a while to get it done, but I got it all done. And here's a little tip. And I will put this in the description box. On this recipe, it asks for 1 cup unsweetened cocoa powder, 2.5 cups of powdered sugar or any sugar of your choice, 1 cup of creamer, any flavor, 5 cups of powdered dry milk, any type. Mix it all up. And then the mix will make, if you follow this recipe exactly to the measurements, one mix will fill out 1 entire quart container. But what I did for variety, since I had this already in my stash, is I made my first mix with cocoa sugar, as you saw in the first half of this video. The second batch I followed exactly to the T, but instead of using cocoa sugar, I used powdered sugar. And there really isn't that much of a difference, but I did label them. And as you can see, the color difference really isn't that much at all. Hardly any change. Okay, and then this last batch that I still haven't put in a container yet, because I'm going to put them in a bag to give to the grandkids, is made with regular granulated sugar. Okay, so what I've done is I've filled each cup with hot water, poured it in here because I need to let it cool off to do the taste test. So we'll see. I'm going to do this first with no marshmallows, and I'm going to put the dehydrated marshmallows, and I'll put that link of that dehydrated marshmallows onto the description box of this. So here's the first one that's made with the cocoa sugar. And I just put about 1.5 teaspoons in a cup, and it's about right here because I didn't want to do a whole lot, but I just want to do this for the taste test. So let's take a quick taste. It's good. It's not overly sweet, but you do have some sweet flavor to it. But it definitely tastes like hot cocoa. Okay, now let's do the powdered sugar test. It does look a little bit more creamy. Let me bring this up so you can see it. I don't know if you can see that there, but it is a little bit more creamy. And all these were made with water, which of course you can use water or you can use hot milk. It's up to you. So let's taste this one. It's pretty watery. I did the same amount, which was almost 2 scoops. So let me go get another spoon. Bear with me and move the camera up a little bit because I gotta get another spoon, a dry spoon. So the one, let me bring this back. Sorry about that. Let me bring that back. Sorry about the move there. Okay, so the one with the powdered sugar, which I would have thought that it'd be a lot sweeter because it's powdered sugar, but apparently not. You definitely need to put, and I put about this much the first scoop, but it's definitely watery. So I'm going to use the same spoon that I stirred it a while ago with. I'm stirring it up again because the water's still pretty warm. Pretty darn warm, actually. It's not burning up hot, but it's pretty warm. It's already all mixed up. So it mixes very well, which is good. It's still pretty watery. So that's 3 scoops. So you're going to use more mix with the powdered sugar one, because that first cocoa mix really tastes like cocoa. It really does taste like good cocoa, but then also it's cocoa sugar with regular cocoa powder, so that's probably why it tastes even more like regular hot cocoa. So let's taste that. Okay, definite. But it took 4 scoops of powdered sugar to equal the same amount as 2 scoops of the cocoa sugar. So overall, so far, I would give the cocoa sugar more of a thumbs up because it definitely tastes a lot more, and then you use less of your mix. Okay, so now let's do the one with the granulated sugar. And again, I had done the same thing on that one. This reminds me of the cocoa packets that you buy from the grocery store. Those hot cocoa mixes like that Swiss Miss. It's not as sweet as the Swiss Miss stuff, but then also remember, when you make it yourself, you control what goes in it. And you know exactly what goes in it, and there's also no preservatives. So, I'm going to trace this one more time. Yeah. My favorite one, I'm going to tell you right now, this is my personal opinion, is the cocoa sugar, granulated sugar, then the powdered sugar. So I probably will not make this again with powdered sugar, but then also I'm going to put these in bags. I'm going to label them, and I'm going to ask my granddaughter, her and her fiance, and then I'm going to ask my daughter for her husband and her family to, there's her grandson, my grandson, and the great grandson, to give me an honest opinion of which one of these flavors they prefer more. So that way I'll know which one to make them for the next round. So now what we're doing is I got my dehydrated marshmallows. Of course the chocolate's not as hot as it was when it's boiling down hot. But then everybody's different on how they like to eat their marshmallows. Some people like them all nice and gooey and melted. I personally don't like marshmallows in my hot cocoa. I just like the hot cocoa by itself. But here's a cocoa sugar one. And let me stir that to see if there's any difference with the marshmallow melting. Now, because when they're dehydrated, it will take you a lot longer for the marshmallows to totally melt when it's really very, very hot. But it's warm. It's not burning up hot, but it's still pretty warm. Yeah, you can definitely taste this extra sweetness from the marshmallows. And let me show you, they're starting to, just from that little time, see that? They're starting to melt, but they're still in pretty good shape. Because see, they're not even sticking to each other, they're still separate. So, using your dehydrated marshmallows does extend the life of the marshmallow in your cup. Now let's do the powdered sugar one. You know what? It's not near as sweet as all the other two. And I'm really surprised with the powdered sugar because everything was measured exactly the same. So that's really surprising that powdered sugar is not that sweet, because all powdered sugar is extra ground, regular granulated sugar is all that is. And you make it into, you just keep on grinding it, blending it in a coffee blender, whatever you have, until it turns into powder. That's all it is. But it's not near as sweet. So I guess for those who really don't like a lot of sugar, that would be a good one, is the cocoa with the powdered sugar. So now let's do the one with the table sugar, the granulated sugar. All the marshmallows are still in there. They're still keeping its shape. See that? They're not sticking to each other or clumping. Let's see if there's a taste difference on that. Yeah, but the marshmallows did sit in this cup a little bit longer than the other two, so that's not totally fair. But it's not that much of a difference. But it definitely is, it does make, let's see if I can do this, because I got to show this without tilting too much. See that? There's the marshmallows. Hope you could see that. See, they're still keeping its shape after all this time. So, my personal opinion, cocoa sugar, granulated sugar. I'm not even going to bother with the powdered sugar, because I'm going to be honest with you, it's a total waste. But that's good for those who, because everybody has a different palate. So I'm not going to waste it. I'm still going to send it to them and let them decide. It's because, you know, they may all love the powdered sugar one more than the other two. I don't know. It's up to them. But thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and share. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Take care now. We'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.